Okay, liturgical worship is the most important type of worship. This D question is asking us to discuss that statement, and in it we've got to refer to Catholic teachings, other Christian teachings, and reach a justified conclusion. I must look at these bullet points carefully. If I do not refer to those three things, I can only get a maximum of 6. It's really important you check what the question is asking you for. So, let's have a look. Some people, such as Catholics, immediately I'm going to go into my Catholic points. Some people, such as Catholics, would agree with this statement as they believe liturgical worship allows you to structure time for the Eucharist. This is important to Catholics as the Eucharist is considered the sacrament of sacraments, source of authority from the Catechism. And therefore, by having liturgical worship, they are able to structure a time when they can receive the Blessed Sacrament as they consider it the most important sacrament. I've explained the quote, that links to that quote there. However, other Christians, such as Quakers are a type of Protestant. Therefore, I've referred to other Christian teachings here. Other Christians, such as Quakers, do not believe that the Eucharist is significant and therefore do not feel the need to celebrate it. They believe this because they feel that rituals take the focus away from God, and instead they worship God in a much more informal way, with time for quiet reflection and reading from the Bible. So I've explained what other Christians do. I think this is a weak argument. Here's my appraisal. Because I believe the Eucharistic rituals do not distract from God's presence but actually reveal it. I'm showing knowledge in my appraisal. This is because Catholics believe that the Eucharist is God's presence. Catholics believe in transubstantiation, great key word, where the bread and wine turns into Jesus' body and blood. Therefore, I agree with the statement as I believe liturgical worship allows Catholics to be in the presence of Jesus and therefore allows them to feel closer to God. So what I've got here is I've started with my Catholic point, then I've gone on to my other Christian point. Here I've got my appraisal where I'm saying whether the argument is strong or weak, and then here I've done a kind of mini conclusion. I need to do something similar to that in my second paragraph. So, secondly, some people may disagree with the statement. You'll notice my first paragraph was an agree. My second paragraph is going to be a disagree. So some people may disagree with the statement as they believe that forms of non-liturgical worship, such as popular piety, brilliant, are also important forms of worship. Rosary beads, for example, are used by Catholics. So again, I'm showing a Catholic point, referring to Catholic teachings. Rosary beads, for example, are used by Catholics as an aid to prayer, as they help the person to focus on Mary and God. I've explained what they are. This is important, as Catholics believe Mary to be the Mother of God and therefore is a focus for devotion. Rosary beads are important for worship as they can be taken anywhere and allow a person to worship God wherever they are. The Catechism states that the whole earth is sacred. Here's my source of authority. The Catechism states that the whole earth is sacred, therefore it is important that worship can take place anywhere and in different forms. I think this is a weak argument, however, because whilst other forms of worship are obviously important, the Catechism states that they extend the liturgical life of the Church, but they do not replace it. This means that the most important form of worship is in fact liturgical worship, links back to the question, which is the reason that Catholics are obliged to attend Mass every week, particularly on a Saturday evening or a Sunday because this is the Sabbath day. So again, I've given my point, which is a disagree point. I haven't done a different Christian view here, as I've already done it in my first paragraph. There I've done my appraisal. Okay? So I haven't fully done what I did in my first paragraph, which is why this answer doesn't get full marks. But I have done a second point and I've done an appraisal within that second point. In conclusion, I agree with the statement as it allows structured time for people to receive the Eucharist. Although I can understand why some people would disagree with the statement, Catholics believe that the Eucharist is Jesus' consecrated body and blood. Thus, making time for the Eucharist through liturgical worship allows Catholics to remember Christ's sacrifice receive his presence, and therefore allow them to get back to God. That is giving my opinion, and it's linking back to the question. Overall, I would probably give this 10 out of 12. 10 out of 12 is brilliant. It's in the top band. It's a great answer. Make sure you look at your answer and see what you can use from there to improve it, and maybe steal some of the appraisal or steal a bit of the conclusion or source of authority to develop your own answer.